Hello everyone, my name is Maribel. Today we're going to be talking about a very scary kind of reptile. They're known for being very strong, and a lot of people hope that they never see one in real life. Today we're talking about crocodiles. We're going to build a crocodile, but first we're going to learn more about crocodiles. So do you like crocodiles? First, let's try and describe a crocodile. The first is that they're a kind of reptile. If it's a reptile, that means that it is cold-blooded. So crocodiles are not able to change the temperatures in their body very well, which means that they only like to live in warm temperatures. If it's cold out, then they tend to get very tired and sluggish. So crocodiles only live in warm temperatures. And we'll talk more about where they live in a few moments. But what are some other things we know about crocodiles? They're very strong animals. You see the teeth at the front of their mouth? They're powerful. Their tails are it's too loud. So, crocodiles are cold-blooded, but what are some other things we know about crocodiles? You see those teeth at the front of their mouth? They're very powerful. They're great at chomping things, at chewing things, and their tails are also just as strong. So they are quite the force to be reckoned with. They can move with great speed. Even though they don't look like fast animals, they are quite quick when they want to run. Now, people tend to confuse crocodiles with alligators. In fact, there are 3 types of crocodilian. So, crocodilian means that you're talking about alligators or crocodiles or gavials, but they're all different. So today we're talking about crocodiles, which are a kind of crocodilian, but alligators are not crocodiles, but they're also a kind of crocodilian. Same with the gavial. How can you tell a crocodile and an alligator apart? They're very different. So crocodiles are known for being much more dangerous. But you can tell them apart because the shape of the alligator's head, so a neat trick to remember is that alligator starts with the letter A. The letter A has a pointy top, and alligators have a very pointy head, whereas crocodiles have a very rounded edge, like the letter C. So you can easily tell them apart by the shape of their head. Alligators have pointy heads, and crocodiles have rounded heads. So where do crocodiles like to live? Where do you usually see crocodiles? Like we said, they love warm temperatures, but they love to live in areas near water. So you see them along borders of embankment, or in the marshes, fresh water near the ocean, or in rivers, lakes, or other tropical or subtropical areas. So in a rainforest, you might come across a crocodile. Now, what do you think crocodiles like to eat? Crocodiles are omnivores. So what is an omnivore? An omnivore means that they eat both animals and meat, and they also eat plants and vegetables and fruits. So crocodiles have a wide variety of things they include in their diet. So some things that crocodiles like to eat are some plants, crabs, various mammals or seaweeds, shrimp, frog, snail, whatever they can come across in their environment. Crocodiles are not very picky. So let's look at the life cycle of a crocodile. A crocodile is hatched from an egg. Now, a female crocodile can lay anywhere from 10 to 60 eggs. They'll usually lay about 50 eggs. Once those eggs hatch, we have our baby crocodile. And depending on the kind of crocodile, it can take anywhere from 4 to 15 years to fully mature to become an adult crocodile. Now, like we said, crocodiles are very scary. If they ever feel threatened by a human, you can be sure that they will fight back. So I hope none of you ever run into a crocodile, but if you ever do, there are some safety measures you can follow to better protect yourself. So this is important to know. If you ever find yourself in front of a crocodile, you can do a few things. You can, 1, run away really quickly, and I think that is the best option. But if you're not able to, you can also punch a crocodile in its most sensitive part. So that's the nozzle, so that's right around where its nose is. And in its nozzle, that's where the most sensitive part of the crocodile is. So your best bet is hitting that to throw him off guard. Or you could stab his eyes, also a very sensitive part of the crocodile. So those are all good things to know in case you ever run into a crocodile. Now, there are some animals that don't get along with crocodiles. They share the same environment and they feel threatened very easily. So animals like pythons, panthers, and hippos are common enemies with the crocodile. They'll fight each other, they'll eat each other. It's not a pretty sight. So those are some things that alligators don't like. So, we've learned some things about the crocodile. We're ready to build our own crocodile. And then we'll go over again everything we've covered. So we're going to start with the crocodile. We're going to build his body, give it its head and its jaws, and then, of course, give him some feet. So there are 3 parts to this build. Make sure you have all of your pieces out in front of you, and let's get started. Take a red 2x8 brick and lay it down onto the table. Let me move these pieces so you can better see what I'm doing. And then you're going to grab 2 yellow 2x8 blocks and place them right next to that red brick. So we're creating that long body of the crocodile. They are big reptiles. So that's pretty much it for the body. We'll add more pieces in a bit, but let's give it a head. So you see this piece here, the 1x2 with the scoop going inside? That's going to be the front of the head of the crocodile. And we're going to place that on the one end of your line. So you're going to place that at the end of one of your 2x8 yellow blocks. Make sure to leave one space here so we can attach the jaw. So just leave one line of 2 pins at the front. And then we want to connect our pieces together. So take a 2x8 red block and place that right behind the head of the crocodile. That's going to help to hold together both of those pieces. Now, take a green square block and place that again right behind the 2x8 that we just put on. And we want to clip in the 2 back 2x8 pieces. So take a 2x4 green brick and place that right behind the piece we just put on. Like that. Now we have the entire body of the crocodile is done. Let's give him some jaws. So to give him his jaws, we're going to take 3 2x4 plates, make sure they're plates, and we're going to clip one onto the front of his head. So you're clipping that right at the top. Take your other plate and place that right underneath. So it's in the same distance apart. Just clip that right underneath that top jaw. And it's a long jaw, so we're going to add another one right underneath. That's just going to help to balance out the crocodile. And that's it. That's it for the jaws. We have the body, the head, the jaws, the end for its tail. What is the last thing we are missing? It's not a crocodile without 4 feet. So let's add some feet by taking your square blocks with the inward curve. You're going to turn your crocodile over and put 2 on the sides right behind the jaw. So I've placed his 2 front legs right underneath the bottom jaw, and those are going to be his 2 front legs. Now we're going to add his 2 back legs, and you'll put them in right where the crack for the red and yellow 2x8 block are. And you'll put them on each side. So those are his 2 feet. And that's it. We have our crocodile. We have all the parts of his body. We have the jaw, the long body, the tail, and the 4 feet. So we have our crocodile. Now let's go over some things we learned today about crocodiles. So how can you tell a crocodile from an alligator? From the shape of its head. And if you ever see yourself in front of a crocodile, what are some things you can do to better protect yourself? Run away swiftly, hit its muzzle, or stab its eyes. What about some of the foods that crocodile like to eat? They are omnivores, so they'll eat plants, and they'll also eat other kinds of mammals. And can you name one of the enemies of the crocodile? Some animals they don't get along with? Panthers, pythons, and hippos all do not like crocodiles. And what about the life cycle? Do you remember how many eggs a female crocodile usually lays? Approximately 50. Anywhere between 10 to 50. And to fully mature to be an adult crocodile, they'll take anywhere between 4 to 15 years, depending on the species. All in all, crocodiles can live anywhere from 30 to 40 years old, but there have been crocodiles that have been able to live up to 100 years old. And where do you usually see crocodiles? They are cold-blooded, so they love to live in warm temperatures near fresh water. So that's it for today's build. We've learned some things about crocodiles. Do you like crocodiles? Do you think they're cool? Do they scare you? Well, that's it for today's build. I encourage you to decorate your build, see if you can make a bigger crocodile or a different looking crocodile. This is just one style, but there are other ways to build a crocodile, as long as you have the 4 legs, the long body, and the jaw. And that's it for today's build. Once you're done with your model, feel free to put your pieces away, clean up, and we will see you for the next build. Bye everyone.